Go there. Let me bring up some of the sound bites and some of the issues that you guys raised on this conversation, because it seems we are all skirting around the elephant in the room here. These are some of the things that you said.
Aliyesamehewa na aliyesaidiwa wakati aliteswa si muhula wa kwanza, ni muhula wa pili wa 2017 mpaka 2022. Tafadhali asiguze mtoto yetu ya mlima anaitwa Gachagua, hana deni ya mtu. Tuliwasamehea na tukawaombea na mtoto yetu Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, na Mungu akawasamehea hata kule Hague. Kenya mzima, kanisa na kila mtu akasimama na nyinyi. Ukateswa na mtoto yetu Uhuru Kenyatta, tukaamua tuache mtoto yetu Uhuru Kenyatta aki mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu, tukasimama na wewe man to man mpaka ukafanywa rais wa Kenya.
Mimi nataka nimuombe kwa unyenyekevu sana, kwa sababu tuko kanisani. Tafadhali ndugu yetu Kimani Ichung'wah, wacha yale matusi ambayo umetusi naibu rais yatoshe. Tafadhali tunakuomba, tukiwa hapa katika madhabahu Kayole, wacha kumtukana naibu rais tena, manake tunashindwa. Unajua Waswahili wanasema akumulikaye mchana usiku atakuchoma.
Lakini I want to talk to the president. Your Excellency, I remember one of the Saturday that you called us at the State House immediately after the tour of Murang'a County. And I remember amongst the many things that we discussed there, uliambia wenye walikuwa na impeachment ya Gachagua that hiyo maneno hutaki kusikia, na ikome na ikome na ikakoma. Meaning, these are your people. Na ukiwaambia wanawacha. Does it mean sahi tena kuna genge ingine ikiongozwa na the leader of majority yenye umeamusha ndio sasa iende ikisema Gachagua ni tribalist, Gachagua ako hivi, Gachagua ako vile? Bas ongea. Kama wakati huo mwingine uliongea na hiyo ikaisha na ikakwamia hapo, kwa nini huongei?
Tukiangazia vizuri, Riggy G has been put on trial. The crime he has committed is a crime of bringing the people of the mountain together so that we can be able to lobby for development in our areas. Your Excellency, Rigathi Gachagua, I want to tell you this. If you are guilty, I'm also guilty. Kwa sababu Rigathi Gachagua haulizi watu washikane ajisaidie wewe mwenyewe. Anatuambia tushikane ili tuangalie mambo ya mlima.
Hakuna mtu anaweza kutuambia tusonge. Tutasonga namna gani na Juma yetu? Sisi tumeketi. Sasa wewe ukikuta kiti hakuna mtu ukalie. Lakini ile mtu amekalia hakuna mtu anaweza amuka. Ama mnafikiria mimi naweza amuka kwa kiti yangu?
Muri, is there a plan kuamsha deputy president kwa kiti yake?
There are many, sometimes politics is not as overt.
Yeah.
And as you have heard, we have been having very many scenarios, including where people have been claiming that it's the president who is sending people to go and disparage the deputy president. But again, I'm a believer on the fact that the deputy president requires only one vote. One, not two, the president. Because that's the one who is appointing authority.
Yeah.
And if the president, along the way, he feels that the deputy president who he chose is not serving the interests or the interests of the country, there is a mechanism of removing him. But sadly, that process is not only political but also legal.
Okay.
And I think that's where the issues are coming. But by and large, what are we saying? We are saying that eventually when all this has been said and done and the storm has calmed, the sitting president, Dr. Ruto, will look for a second term. And all the things you hear people talking here, including my friends Fune here and Roko, will not matter, because it will be about one question. I want the votes of the mountain.
Yeah.
Who can bring me those votes?
That is the second
That's
question.
it.
Okay.
That's it.
Trevor.
Okay.
That's it.
Let
And
me
please,
finish.
kindly,
Finish.
Ruko, you need to learn how to respect your senior, so at least when I'm talking, you give me the chance.
You are a senior.
Of course. Now, so the point here is, ultimately, the bottom line, the bottom line, what will matter is who will be able to bring the votes.
Okay.
And therefore he'll do his mathematics. And find out, okay, among all the proposals here, who can be able to bring me the votes? Because let me say this: the reason why the president chose regarding Gachagua as a deputy president, not because he was the most clever man, but he knew if he backs on him, he would be able to deliver the Mount Kenya votes, and exactly that is what he did. Okay. Now, has that changed? No. So, what we are saying, and I normally keep on saying, me, I'm not for me, I'm a servant of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Those people are joined, and I support both of them.
Okay.
In fact, my clarion call, every moment I have a public forum, is to tell them, look, you make Kuru, but Kuru does not mean you divorce. Because even in our homes, we Kuru with our wives, but you don't wake up and go and file a divorce the following morning. But the point is very simple. What's the bigger picture? The bigger picture is take care of their children, the Kenyan population. Okay. I now keep on telling them, we are looking up to them. Kenyans are expectant. We want development. The mama mboga is waiting. The mtu wa boda boda is waiting. Mtu wa mkokoteni is waiting. The young people are looking for employment. We want roads, we want water, we want electricity, and all the things which we put in our manifesto. So we may quarrel, but does not mean that we forget the development agenda.
Okay, Sifuna.
Now, let's start with the so-called reception of the president in Western Kenya and
Nyanza.
And in Nyanza. Yeah. By the way, before the president went to those two places, he went to Mount Kenya. Trevor, you remember that? He received a similar reception. But Muri will tell you that those crowds you saw in Mount Kenya, if an election was called today, Ruto will not get those votes that you saw there. He knows, and he can confirm. Number two, I don't remember the last time any political leader was chased away from anywhere. I don't remember somebody of the stature of a president going to Western ever, even the most unpopular ones, and even at the most unpopular time. Because the people of Western Kenya, and by extension Nyanza, are the people of Mulembe. Mulembe means we don't have grudges with people. We will receive you, Trevor. You have seen you yourself, even when you go to some of those functions at home. There are people who will be cheered very loudly at funerals. But when you talk to those mamas seated there in the crowd, they'll tell you that wanakuna mahali anaenda. And by the way, politics is also a game of deception. I can assure you, Trevor, the people in Kenya Kwanza are not the only ones who know how to play these games. Yes, everybody in Kenya has the capacity to do these things. Now, when Ruku says that success, you know, the measure of success, Ruku, for this government will not be how many kingpins you have created. Will not be how many broad-based governments or how broad that based government you form is. It will not be the size of a political coalition. And in fact, this is where I differ with my senior here. Even in 2027, it will not be about who can deliver the votes of Mount Kenya. I can assure you, Trevor, that there has been a paradigm shift in the politics of this country, and if William Ruto does not change course, because I don't see any commitment from him and his government to demonstrate that they have heard what the people of Kenya are saying. If we fall back to the politics that we were practicing before, that you look for the kingpin of Western, then you get the kingpin of Mount Kenya, then you go to the kingpin of the coast, it is no longer going to work. You must deliver for the people. The promises that you made, you must deliver for the people. When the president, for instance, stands up and says he is not aware of any person who has been abducted by his own regime, And yet, we thought, in fact, we passed it as a motion, a resolution of the Senate, that government must account for every single person who's missing. You have a person acting as the Inspector General, who's a representative of his government, refusing to show up to court 7 times upon invitation until he's convicted of contempt. Me and Muriu here as lawyers, Ruku, are you a lawyer? You know, you have given us sayings here about hyenas, so I'm doubting. And you're talking about Bill.
You have given about the granary.
Yes, so I don't know which
we
information
have
is.
Okay.
But one of the things that we must agree on is that there is something Kenyans said about the sort of state they want to see.
Yeah.
They want to see a state where there is rule of law. There's observance of the rule of law. Court orders are obeyed. A government that is responsive to the needs of the people, that addresses the issues that Muriu is bringing up here of unemployment and all the other issues that the young people brought up. If you do not do that, and I have said this on this show, it will not matter how many core principles you put at the front there. It will not matter how many kingpins you assemble or how big a coalition you put together. You will still lose the election. Because the people of Kenya have told us that they want a paradigm shift.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Rupu.
Trevor, let me be straight and candid. Our cousins from the West have taken us for granted for.
Now you are talking. Now suddenly I have infected
we have decided as a region we will take a independent political journey. Okay. They have taken us for granted for many, just as voting machines. We have been with them from 1960 up to date. But they are extremely selfish cousins. And we have decided as a community of Embu, Tharaka, and Meru, we are going to take our own independent direction. Because our cousins from the West, from Murang'a, from Nyeri, from Kiambu, they have been taking us just as voting machines.
Finally,
our interests have never been properly taken care of. You can't explain why a constituency, which is 771 square kilometers, has 38 kilometers of tarmac since independence. We have no water. We have no electricity. We have 684 villages in my constituency with no electricity connection. But at the same time, we say we are in government together. We are Mlima. We are Mount Kenya. We have decided, Trevor, as a matter of fact, we are going to take our own independent political direction as a people of Mount Kenya East. And I'm happy even Kirinyaga County is coming on board, as well as Isiolo is coming on board, so that it can be a proper Mount Kenya East. Okay. That is the truth. We will not accept to be taken for granted by our cousins from the West. My brother here, Muiro, has said that I say it. Yeah, he's senior in age, and I'm senior in age of Sifuna. So I say that we are connected genetically. It is true, we are cousins, but they have looked down upon us over years. They have taken us as voting machines. Our issues don't come as first priority. For instance, they are talking about Mau Mau roads, which we don't have not even a single kilometer of Mau Mau road within our region, as if we never fought for Mau Mau. I'm named Roko after General Roko, who was very key. We have the same lineage, who was very key in fighting for freedom of this country. And these guys, they don't understand that. We have decided moving forward, we are going to chart our own independent political dimension. And that needs to be clear.
Okay.
That needs to be clear.
Right.
I think you need to start giving me accolades, because, you know, John the Baptist used to baptize people with water.
Yeah.
I baptize people in truth.
Yeah.
And I can see another convert. Go well, my son, and don't lie again. This is what Kenyans want. Go now, all your sins are forgiven, and tell the truth.
Trevor,
my job here is done.
I have given my context of why we need to take a different political dimension.
Yeah,
because in 3/4 of this area we are talking about, doesn't have good roads, doesn't have water connection, doesn't have electricity.
Yeah.
The dams we need to be constructed and all there. But the priority list, when it comes, the huge funding, the employment of our sons and daughters in government institutions.
Yeah.
When you go to, let's say, KRA, you'll be told you can't get, because Mount Kenya is where, who are these Mount Kenya representatives? My cousins. There's no Amumbere, there's no Amudaka, there's no Amumeru. There is no a person from Kirinyaga. They are just saying Mount Kenya. So we can't be helping this cousin of ours to get a lion's share of each and every government, but we continue suffering. I'm sure Mureu has never gone to Shiara, has never gone to Marimanti, has never gone to Egembe to see the issues of the issues which are affecting our people there. The only place he knows is Nyeri, is Moranga, is Kiambu.
All right, there's a lot of feedback.
We have refused.
Let me read through the feedback and then I'll come.
We have refused.
Let's read some feedback, then we come to the ungrateful cousins to give their closing remarks on this, because now
we have refused.
Bring up the feedback and let's see them at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag Daybreak. Then we'll come to closing remarks, starting with the ungrateful cousins, of course. Let's bring them up and see what you're saying before we take the closing remarks real quick. At Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya, use the hashtag Daybreak, and I think there's also a tweet that has been sent in by one Hussein Mohammed, who you were talking about earlier on. And it's not a new tweet, it's the same one that he had said that on Monday, 9 September 2027, actually adds and says that one Aladwa cannot call for meetings in State House.
So how did he end up at State House himself? You know, Hussein cannot lie. It is not coincidence that Aladwa, together with Pasaris and Elachi, the Member of Parliament for Dagoretti North, and Jalango were present at the same event. We were all being invited in Langata, and then they went to State House for that meeting. Why are you lying, Hussein? He used to be a good man. You know, this is a problem of keeping bad company.
Let's bring up some of the feedback that's coming through while we take closing remarks. Ibra, yes. Let's see if we can bring up the feedback there and see what you're saying online really quick. Gabi says, I don't like this Adani Group deal. It smells fishy. The government should come out clean on the deal for seamless acceptance by Kenyans. Okay, let's bring up the next one. Bob Otieno says, denies they are not part of government. Edwin Sifuna denies that they are not part of government, and it's doing right now on a national station. The more Kenyans are understanding their open lies, we are not fools. He better stop denying the naked truth.
Sifuna is part of government. He's at the center of
this government. Nixon says maybe the KK government chose to work extremely closely with the opposition to cripple checks and balances. We are a nation founded on distrust of government power. Questioning that power is essential to promoting transparency and accountability. Okay? Peter says, let Mount Kenya East and West have their leaders to champion for the economic issues, but the DP should be the overall spokesperson of Mount Kenya region. Okay? See what else is there. Okelo says, signs are on the wall that we won't have current political formations by 2026. The noise around Murima has nothing to do with service delivery. It's all about political entitlement. It's about the palpable fear that their son's share certificate will be taken forcibly. Okay? Frank says, I agree with Sifuna. The broad-based government hasn't addressed any of the concerns raised by Kenyans. Corruption, nepotism, incompetence, lack of employment, high cost of living, abductions and judicial killings are still alive with us. The government is full of empty promises. Bob Otieno says, it seems that Sifuna has taken the role of being an opposition leader from his boss, Raila Odinga, just like Honorable Caleb Amisi proposed the other day. Okay? It continues to say, problem in Mount Kenya was brought by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. He left them as orphans without a kingpin in DP. Rigathi Gachagua is struggling to fill it for upcoming elections of 2027 and for succession politics of 2032 when President William Ruto retires. Okay, Jalangi says, what is the main reason why members of parliament want to be in government? And we are a live constitution that defines their terms of work even in matters development. Okay? Peter says, let Mount Kenya East and West have their leaders to champion their economic issues. I think that was it. And let me come to Mirur for closing remarks and also address the issue of you being ungrateful cousins.
Remember, Trevor, our role as members of parliament is to represent and articulate the issues of our people. And therefore, my friend Ruto is very much in order. If he feels that having a separate kingpin might be a silver bullet for the problems affecting Mount Kenya East, he's very much in order. However, let me come to what I would like as a takeaway.
Yes.
We, as a country, are going through a bit of turbulence, both at the political side and the economic side. There's a bit of disquiet between the president and the deputy president, and the economy is not doing very well. For me, I want to just give a simple analogy, and I think I said it earlier. Even in situations where they disagree, because men do not need to agree all the time, but I think those two people are joined by the greater good of this country.
Okay.
After all has been said and done, I will request them to focus on development. The people on the ground are asking, where are their roads? Where are the Mau roads? People in Gatanga asking for Mau roads. People in Gatanga asking, where is our water? The Idanga water, the Dakaine water. People in Gatanga asking, how comes our children, after being very well educated and supporting the bursary at all levels, they can't get employment? Okay. Those are the questions which I hope they will sit down after all has been said and done and address, because things might take a different turn if we don't do it. Okay. And it's important that we, at the fullest of the time, be accountable to our people for the time they have given us to support them. They have given us to support them and to represent them. Okay, Sifuna, closing remarks.
Yeah, just two things in closing. I will reiterate that we will tell our own story. If Ruku or Natembea or whoever else wants to speak for ODM, they are welcome. We have called for elections in November. They can come and run against me to be the SG of ODM and be the ones to give the party position. I want to tell Kenyans that ODM will remain the people's watchdog. And you will observe us over time. You know, it is easier for you to observe the conduct of people over time. And you will know where we are on the issues. Observe how we vote in Parliament. If John Mbadi, because now he's a bottom-up minister, tries to bring back taxation on bread or the housing levy, you look at how Sifuna will vote. Then you will know whether Sifuna is with Mbadi in that government or not. I had him threatening to reduce taxes. Of course, he has become like them. It's all talk. There is no solid proposal before Parliament to reduce VAT or income tax, something that we have called for. And I've said, Trevor, if this government does not address the issues that were raised by the people of corruption, nepotism, unemployment, the cost of living, even if you take the whole ODM National Executive Committee to your side, you will lose the election in 2027.
Okay. Ruku, closing remarks, really quick.
There is serious obsession of kingship. We are not interested with the kingpin and the kingship of whether Mount Kenya East or Mount Kenya West. What we are saying is that our brothers, our cousins, the Kikuyus, I'm not a Kikuyu, have taken us for granted for many years, for 60 years, as voting machines. We have said we have come of age. We will chart our own independent political and economic path. Okay. Totally different from our cousins. Because we want to see Mau Mau Road cutting across Embu, Mbere, going to Tharaka, going to Imenti, going to Tigania, going to Igembe, all that region to be considered. Because I'm not a Gikuyu, but I'm named after General Ruto, who fought for independence of this country. Right. So what is this Mau Mau Road and is not cutting across where my grandfathers were fighting for independence of this country? Okay. We need to be respected as well, and we will not again carry the burden of our cousins to go and share the fat piece of government. We also want to get our share of that fat piece in government. All right. We want to understand how many Mbere are employed in KRA, in KPA, how many Merus are there. Not that when we have 365 Kikuyus in these institutions, then we are told, Mount Kenya region is well represented. Okay. We are not going to take that path.
Thank you. Trevor, shouldn't you ask for something fat for your people as well? you need to be also a kingpin for your people. Who is going to ask for these things for your people?
Gentlemen, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for making time. Honorable Edwin Sifuna, Senator for Nairobi. Honorable Edward Muriu, Member of Parliament for Gatanga, and Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, MP Mbereno. Thank you all for making time on the State of the Nation this morning. Coming up next is Cooking Tips. All right? Bye for now.